Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is time for our classic Marvel Star Wars comics episode. And someone likes to wait till the very last minute to do important things so they're not here when it's time. So while we're waiting, Jabba's my co-host today.
I hear you.
And then
I hear you.
Jabba was my co-host. I'm sorry, sweetie.
That's
you're
fine
fired.
by me.
You're fired.
Okay. Can I get a job recommendation?
No. You
Character
can get a
reference?
You can get a Jabba recommendation.
Oh, look at that.
Ah!
Oh, quit now. Quit now while you are ahead.
Oh. All right. Well, we're going to be talking about a 1981 comic today. I'm excited. I wanted to know, where are you guys watching from? Well, there's plenty of you watching today.
Yeah, this is
So
going to
let
be
us know.
another exciting today in Star Wars history. As you all know, we love doing these. It's a departure from what else is out there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's what we like to do, a departure.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fun just to go over these that are so old that it's fun.
They're old, but yet they're very relevant.
Yeah, that's what's fun about it.
As we'll see in this issue here.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see where Lucasfilm wouldn't go, I'll take one of these, I'll take one of these, I'll take one of these.
Yeah.
And it all started here. That's why we're doing these, to let everyone know where some of these little nuggets of stories and characters came from that you see in movies and TV shows and novels today.
So, and once again, this is going to be a different live stream than the things we want to share live stream, which this week we already have to change a day because we have jobs. This week it'll be Tuesday, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Yeah. Pacific.
Did we make a note of that?
Yeah, I think we did. I think I did. We'll say it at the bottom. Yeah, okay. It's not going to be there. Okay. Yeah. So, and if you are commenting, we don't see your comments. So maybe just give a comment, make sure we can see them.
Yes. Okay. Whoever's watching, just say give a hey.
Yeah.
Sometimes the comments don't work, or they'll be like an hour
later,
delayed.
Yeah, be delayed. I don't know why. Usually they work. So, okay. So, Richard, you want to get started on this classic Marvel Star Wars comic?
Yes, I sure do.
Okay.
Let's start recording.
I hit record.
All right. And we're recording over here.
Yes. There we go. This is what you can look forward to on episode 453 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hey, Skywalkers! Are you ready to take a trip with us to DROID WORLD? A world inhabited by colorful and vengeful warbots. Also, we'll take you to a time where the Thing from the Fantastic Four solved crimes with Hostess fruit pies. But for right now, we have to stay here because we want to welcome you back to Skywalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Woloski. Now, everyone, please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah, who this time is not in her pajamas.
No, we're matching today in our Star Wars Spirit jerseys. They're really fun.
These are the most fun and comfortable shirts we have.
Oh, they're so comfy. Well, Spirit jerseys just in general are comfy, and I think they've improved with age too. Like my very first one is a little Baby Yoda one, and it's cute, but it's not quite as flattering or as soft as some of the newer designs.
Yeah, they're not too heavy and not too light. They're just perfect for this LA weather we're having right now, which is like what, 60s. Early? Has spring started yet?
For here, yeah, it really has. But yeah, it's like 60 degrees. 60s.
Yeah. Kind of balmy. Mm-hmm. If you're into this episode because you want to hear weather in LA, there you go. 60s and kind of balmy, but really comfortable if you're wearing a Spirit t-shirt.
That's right. Spirit jersey. It's different.
Oh.
By the way, Skywalker's Academy has joined us.
Okay,
Hello there. And Hillsborough High School Hillsborian historian.
AKA Rex Gordon.
Nice.
Okay, he even says it right there. It's Rex.
Excellent effects. Excellent.
All right.
Well, Skywalkers, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. So it's time for your weekly Wookiee hug and your little sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers. Now, we are live right now on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel, which is the best way to watch these classic Marvel Star Wars comics episodes in general, either live or the YouTube version of this podcast episode, simply because you can see the comic strips as we talk about them. So it's really great. We do try to describe things for you if you are still listening in just your podcatcher, but otherwise the best way is our YouTube channel. So make sure you go to Skywalking Through Neverland on YouTube. Just search Skywalking Through Neverland, subscribe, and then click the little bell for notifications, and it'll notify you when we go live. It will also notify you when we go live every week for our Things We Want to Share segment of our podcast, which is now its own live show on mostly Mondays at 6 p.m.
However, this week it will be on Tuesday, February 27th. And if you're listening to this show after we recorded it, well, you were either there or you missed it.
Yeah, well, just look for us next week.
There you go.
Probably Monday. All right, well, in this episode, we break down classic Marvel Star Wars comics issue number 47, Droid World, which was published in 1981. It's my year. Now we're going to see how the Clone Wars took a toll on some, the trouble R2 and 3PO managed to find themselves in this week, and a fully armored Kenner power droid.
Mm-hmm.
These issues just get weirder and weirder, but possibly more fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know they're more fun. and spoiler alert, they haven't gotten weird yet.
Oh. Even with that standalone before Empire Strikes Back?
Yep.
Which one was that one called?
Riders in the Void.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Riders in the Void.
They haven't gotten to the weird, that weird pinnacle just yet.
Yeah.
More to come. All right, now we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world. And best of all, the service is free of charge. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you. Now, we are recording this from Long Beach, California on February the 26th, 2024.
2024. So, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history?
Well, on this day, 40 years ago, that's February 26th, 1984, Star Wars A New Hope airs on network TV for the first time. Star Wars A New Hope airs on network TV for the first time as the CBS Sunday movie. What is that? Star Wars A New Hope airs on network TV for the first time as the CBS Sunday special movie presentation. Now, this broadcast includes a featurette narrated by Mark Hamill, which focuses on behind the scenes and the Star Wars cultural phenomenon. However, a highlight was the spotlight on the Steuben family.
Mm-hmm. What?
Yep. The Steuben family, they were named the champion of Star Wars collectors since they live, breathe, and eat Star Wars, as Mark Hamill says in the featurette.
Oh my goodness!
Now, in this featurette, which you can find on YouTube, we'll put a link in the show notes. Yeah, in the featurette, the Steuben family is seen at the dinner table, which is covered with Star Wars themed bowls and cups, droid salt and pepper shakers, and a Darth Vader cookie jar. Now, when I saw this in 1984, I turned to my mom and said, I want that. I want to live like that. And she's like, they did that for the cameras. And that for the first time I realized, reality TV is not reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now, their collection is said to be worth over a staggering $15,000.
Wow.
Which most collectors have now in their garage, just sitting there.
I know someone who may own that much in Loungefly bags.
Now, this guy Walter Steuben, the father, the patriarch of the Steuben family, he was the Stephen Sansweet of the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenner flew him to the New York City Toy Fair. He did press tours. He did all kinds of media. And he had his stuff on exhibit. Now, this was before the internet, so I didn't know any of this was going on.
Yeah.
A Star Wars collection on exhibit? I gotta see this.
That's so cool.
Now, to read more and to follow up on Walter Steuben and the Steuben family, go to blog.theswca.com and search for Walter Steuben, Steuben. Sarah, as we're doing this right now, I get this up right here on our computer.
Oh, okay, cool.
So many press releases around this guy. Yeah, he was like probably one of the first fan celebrities.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness.
Yeah, go there, look him up. There's so much there.
That is so cool. All right. Well, if you want thousands more of these fun facts every day of the year, you can always order Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Today in Star Wars History, the book that we authored and illustrated at skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book. Right there.
There you go. All right, now let's see what kind of trouble R2-D2 and C-3PO are getting into in Droid World. That's the name of their droid song.
Oh, pardon me.
In trouble again.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Excellent. Oh, good. We got more people. Hi.
Hey,
Welcome,
everybody.
Don.
Hey, all. 1984
Pierre.
was the height of human civilization, says Rex.
In 1984, yes, it was.
Yes, it was. It was a very good year.
Excellent. And hi, says Pierre. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. All right, sit tight because this issue, this is something.
Okay, hold on now. I want to make sure.
I think Disney is doing they're doing a whole series droid stories.
What?
Remember that thing they announced like 3 years ago?
Are they still doing that? Everything.
Who knows?
You know,
who knows?
I'm just taking like a blank slate to the calendar, even though I announced stuff since Dave Filoni was announced the creative director, officer, whatever. Yeah, because that can be changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Don Glover says Westworld, Future World, and really Future World, Droid World.
Man, okay. I've got to breathe.
Yes.
Whenever I have microphones on me, I forget to breathe and then I have to yawn and then it's weird.
Okay, here we go. Now, when we broke down the last issue, The Dreams of Cody Sunchild, or Dreadnought Devourer, we said that the next time we did a classic Marvel Star Wars comics, we would cover the second Star Wars annual. I'm going to retract that.
Yes.
Because we've got to do issue 47 now, because since we first started classic Marvel Star Wars comics in 2015, we've been counting down the issues until Sarah was born. It's been a really fun game.
It has been.
And this is the last issue to be released before Sarah is released.
Tell that to my mom.
Now, Sarah, you were born in between this issue and the next.
Yes.
So you're like right in between there. So to commemorate the birth of Sarah, we'll do the next one, the next classic Marvel Star Wars comics, the week of Sarah's birthday, which is March 10th.
Yay!
Or the week after, we'll see how things go, but sometime in that first half of March.
Yes, of course.
Then, finally, Sarah, you'll be in the same universe as Jackson and Hoojibs, Crimson Jack, and many of the beloved characters from classic Marvel Star Wars comics. It's about time.
I'm so excited. Oh, I've always felt like a little lost.
I've kind of felt the same way.
Oh.
But now you know what? You're welcomed into the classic Marvel Star Wars comic world. And Rex says an early happy birthday.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, fun. Shantori. Lots of fun emoji. Is it little bees and something? Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Castle and bees.
All right. You in the Sky Chat, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Love all your comments.
Yes. All right. Well, in the last issue, The Dreams of Cody Sunchild, remember this comic book cover here? This was a standalone and does not lead into this story. So here is a summary of Droid World.
All right, now the Rebel Alliance has captured a damaged Imperial warbot and requests assistance from the cyborg Kligson, not Klingon, as I kept reading in the book. It's not Klingon, it's Kligson, of the droid-populated space station to repair the droid so it can be studied.
That's hard to say. Kligson agrees to fix the droid, but R2D2 and 3PO must accompany the warbot to observe the operation, since Kligson intends to keep it after it's repaired. However, things go sideways as an ex-Imperial has other ideas.
Ooh. Now, unlike Dreadnought Devourer, you will not need your Funk and Wagnalls dictionary for this issue. So if you have your copy of Funk and Wagnalls, put it away. You're not going to need it.
Nice.
Now, this issue was later adapted in 1983 into a book and record or tape cassette titled The Further Adventures Droid World, released by Buena Vista Records, which is a Disney music group. Someone's thinking ahead. And also, Planet of the Hoojibs was also adapted from issue 55, Pliff.
Ooh, we're coming up on that, huh?
Yes, we are. Now, unfortunately, these are the only 2 Marvel adaptations.
Yeah.
Opportunity lost.
Absolutely. But I can see how these are more simple stories that follow like one set of characters.
Right.
Little easier to adapt to something like a record like that.
Okay. Yeah, I see that, but I think they could have done more.
Yeah.
I wish they'd done more.
Well, they should have done the one right before Empire Strikes Back. What is that one again?
Oh, Riders in the Void.
Riders in the Void. That would have been trippy. They could have used so much electronic weird music for that.
Yep. And we're seeing in the Sky chat, who is that?
Gory.
Oh, Gory O'Rotten says a DJ needs to spin that record. Yes. Imagine going into a club or somewhere and just hearing Droid World. That would be hilarious. Now, as we read through these classic Marvel Star Wars comics, I will share memories of reading these comics as a kid and get you caught up with these characters and situations that every Star Wars fan must know. Because as we've noted in the past, there are several connections and parallels into the current films, comics, and novels. And in this issue, we meet a veteran of the Clone Wars who, ironically, does not appear in Clone Wars or The Clone Wars. And we also see another Kenner action figure reference.
That's very exciting. I love these connections.
Yeah, so if you're open to the whole world of Star Wars, you get to see these little connections and see how they connect or don't connect because of some canon.
Yes. And Richard, so you've seen these comics as a kid, at least seen them.
I've seen them. Let's make a note. I've seen them, not read them.
Right. And I have never seen nor read them as a child. So I'm reading all of these comics for the first time and sharing my response as it happens right now, as well as my artistic thoughts, which there's some fun artsy comments in this particular issue. And I love comparing the different styles that the various artists have between characters or colors or everything that they bring to these series.
All right, now issue 47, Droid World, was released on February the 24th, 1981. Oh, we're 2 days past the 43rd anniversary of this issue.
Oh,
I know. It was written by Archie Goodwin, artwork by Carmen Infantino, Gene Day, and Glennis Wine. Now, the cover art is by James Sherman and Frank Marshall and Frank Miller. Yes, this is the same Frank Miller who wrote and illustrated The Dark Knight Returns and wrote Batman Year One for DC in the 1980s. And I had to go back and it's like, no, wait a minute, this can't be the same Frank Miller, the same Batman Frank Miller. Now, these Batman comics would go on to reshape Batman for years in comics. This guy brought back Batman.
Was it the old, more grizzled Batman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we had this and the Tim Burton Batman movie, and this really got Batman out of that camp factor.
Right.
In the 1990s, Frank Miller wrote for Dark Horse Comics, including a series of stories for Sin City, a series that would eventually be made into a feature film in which he wrote the screenplay and co-directed with Robert Rodriguez, as we all know from the Book of Boba Fett.
That's right.
All right, now on this amazing cover, we see R2D2 and C3PO when they're running.
Say the cover of this
Okay.
comic now, because
Now, on the cover of Droid World, this comic we're going to review, we see R2D2 and C3PO running from a bunch of maniacal, vicious droids. And 3PO says, I'm not going to try to even imitate Anthony Daniels, but 3PO says, R2, I don't care if the odds are against us. R2, I don't care if the odds against us are escaping. R2, I don't care if the odds escaping. What? R2, I don't care if the odds against our escaping are 25,215 to 1. Just keep running. And the narration reads, but there is no escape from Droid World.
dun dun dun.
Now, spoiler alert, we've seen the future of R2 and 3PO, so we know there is an escape.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
All right, Skywalkers who are in the Sky Chat right now, let us know what you think of this cover, because we love to read your comments. But in the meantime, we'll share our comments on this. So the cover, you see, you just said what they are. Oh, yeah. All right, so on this cover, my eye is really drawn to this lobster creature that is looming over R2 and 3PO, kind of behind them, but that's where my eye went first, because again, it's like this red-orange color. It's very colorful, and I guess it's not a lobster creature. Upon second look, it's a droid, but it's holding like this big cartoony axe, and it looks like a lobster claw to me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I saw, and it's holding up another thing behind the Star Wars logo too. So I saw lobster claws trying to reach out for R2 and 3PO. Now the cover itself is very, very colorful. It looks like a rainbow. All the different droids and or creatures behind R2 and 3PO are each a flat one color, and they stand out against a white background as well. So that also furthers the rainbow aspect of it, because you pair white with rainbow or black with rainbow and it really stands out. But in order to distinguish those characters from R2 and 3PO, R2 and 3PO have this deep, deep shading and harsh shadows, and it really separates them from the one-dimensional droids in the background. So the only thing I don't really like about it is because it's like a white background, it doesn't place them anywhere. Like a lot of these covers that we've seen are in space, right? You see a nice starry background, or you see some planets behind them, or you see some kind of planetscape. But here it's just flat white. So it's kind of a very flat cover. But I still like it. And let's see, 3PO, I feel like he's a little out of character on this cover because because he calls R2 R2 and not Buckethead or
bucket of
something
bolts,
else. Yes.
or a glob of grease.
Yes, or something other demeaning. But overall, it's a fun cover. It's not my favorite, and I think I would it's a little forgetful for me.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think?
Well, I think just the opposite.
Oh, okay.
I've always loved this cover.
Ah,
This is the first time R2 and 3PO have appeared on the cover since issue 35. So they are due their Star Wars cover.
okay.
Not counting the upper left-hand picture you
Correct.
see in every of the issues past it going into The Empire Strikes Back, where they knew that we're not going to put R2 and 3PO on any of the adaptation covers. Let's put them on the little box up in the left-hand corner.
Okay.
Now, this looks like it could be in the Star Wars universe because 3PO plays off the odds of survival joke.
Okay.
So
yes.
that's tying into the Star Wars universe for me.
Definitely.
Now, R2 looks like he's really motoring, and 3PO looks like he's ice skating. And they look like they're in the void. You said you can't really tell where they are. Looks like they're in the void, which we saw in the Clone Wars. We just need Colonel Meeber Gascon in there somewhere. Put little Meeber Gascon.
No.
And we're there. And I do like the very generic monochrome battle droids in the back. I really love them. And that big Shogun warrior, which you thought looked like a lobster.
Mm-hmm.
I love that character. But my favorite is that pink hovering droid with the big hands who's got the laser blaster over here, right? This
Oh.
little one,
Oh,
right?
very small.
Yeah, very
Okay.
small, but
On the left
but he's
side.
got these big giant hands, and
Huh.
he's hovering, and he's got a gun.
Interesting.
Now this kind of reminds me of the new Dark Droids. This is a series Marvel is doing right now, which are crossover stories.
Oh.
In the some stories will appear in Darth Vader,
So in the
some will
Marvel
in the
comics.
Marvel comics
Okay.
today. I think the crossover just ended in December, but I'm not a fan of those stories, just because there's just a lot of robots on robot fighting, and it's too bleak. Unlike the bright colors of this issue, Droid World.
Okay.
hmm All right, now let's get into the Facebook comments. We always put the cover in our Facebook group and our page, and we ask the Skywalkers, what do you think of this cover art? Go nuts.
All right, so Wesley Meecombe says 3PO is looking a bit more bulky than usual. Gym time, I guess. R2 is rather alarmed because he is moving backward, and they are being chased by a colorful motley crew with axe hand Juggernaut in the rear.
Oh, that's your favorite.
Yeah, nice shadowing on 3PO. That is true. R2 is going backwards, at least according to how he's drawn here.
Yeah, I like that motion. The surface motion, it has those like hyperspace lines.
Yeah.
Which you can really tell motion. All right, Rex Gordon, who is right here in the Sky Chat, he says, Frank Miller, wow. I still have the read along record, and I know it's time to turn the page when R2D2 beeps. I love the different droids and all the colors. Hey, look, Rex, we think the same.
Julie Gildersleeve says, I love that R2 is the one giving the odds to 3PO, who essentially told him not to tell him the odds.
Reynold Gobey says, not sure what's happening, but I know it's 3PO's fault. Probably said this to all of them. You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I can see 3PO turning around to all these vicious droids and blaming them.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll be malfunctioning, you nearsighted scrap piles. That didn't bode well.
No. Okay, Patrick Izzo says, I like what I'm assuming is R2's running mode. Leaned forward with third leg extended out the back. Honestly, I never thought about it, but that would probably provide the best stability. I just can't imagine 3PO in a full sprint. Would definitely like to see what that would be like in live action. Well, we kind of saw him in like Empire Strikes Back. Wait for me, as he's trying to exit Hoth. Yeah, he can't really run, you know.
Apparently, this is the big thing to all the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
Don Glover says in the Sky Chat, does R2 run or roll? He also says, is R2 pointed in the right direction?
I don't think so.
All right. And Scott Bowman says, you know it's serious when R2 enters pod racer mode. He's head down and pedal to the metal here.
Wow, made a big impression on everyone.
All right,
and that's the scuttlebutt, says Skywalker's Academy. Way to put a Little Mermaid button on that one. Nice.
All right, let's wrap it up with Alizara and Derek. And what's their comment? So awesome. I can't wait to hear this episode.
Nice.
That's Elazara N and Derek L. All right, now let's get into the story. Oh, I can't wait for this.
All right, here we go.
Now we open in mid-chase. R2 and 3PO are racing away from a tank being driven by a droid with R5 units who are manning the blaster cannons.
Woo. Yeah, so this splash page, it's titled Droid World, very big letters. And it's very similar to the cover in that R2 and 3PO are in the foreground running away. They still have the shadowing too, so very, very dark in the foreground. I feel like it's a little better art here, and they're being chased by this big tank with a droid in charge on top of the tank. And I feel like it's really fun color choices here. We have R2 black and blue, 3PO is black and gold. The floor is this bright orange red, which could also kind of signify danger, you know?
Well, look,
very much so.
Look what's going on.
Yeah, the tank is this white blue, and it's shooting yellow at them, and the background is like black and purple. So I feel like the artists here got hold of some new colored pens and are putting them to use.
Oh, look at that cover.
Yeah.
He even told Frank Miller, hey, you want to borrow some of my colored pens? There you go.
It's really fun.
Now, the droid pilot shouts to the R5s, faster, run them down, blast them, destroy them. And 3PO asks the foreshadowing question, why is everyone in this place so single-minded? Then he goes on to blame R2 for getting him into this mess.
Of course.
Why is it always someone else's fault?
It always is with 3PO. Yes.
And for society.
Yes.
And commentary. Now, as they're racing, 3PO almost falls over R2, who comes to a screeching halt right before they tumble down into a fiery melting core. Now, this is a very nice panel, don't you think?
Yeah.
As 3PO is bathed in red light with yellow burning flames
kind of behind him.
he and R2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really pretty. And it's interesting that we are dropped into this story in media res. So like right in the middle of something happening. And we don't know why the droids are in this predicament. Like, why are they all of a sudden going to be dropped in this fiery molten core, and even where this is? But to me, it's very exciting.
Oh, very much so. Now, look at this next page here. It's a terrifying splash page that shows big giant magnets held by heavy chains ascending from above. Now, do you think these magnets are foreshadowing something?
Well, obviously something. To me, they look like chains, like they're going to be chained up, like held up like
a torture device.
A torture device, yeah. And this whole splash page, is ringed in fire at the bottom, and 3PO is like among the flames down below, and the background is just this deep black, very foreboding. And also, it is not perfectly upright and down vertical, it is canted at an angle, so it's even danger there because
this could have been seen in the Batman TV show with the canted angles.
Oh, a canted angle also refers to, you don't have quite your footing. You're not 100% in a good place. You're in danger. Yeah.
Yeah. 3PO is in like the fiery pits of hell.
Yeah. Oh, and here the narration reads, heat that rises from the white hot core of a man-made world. Heat designed to reduce the strongest, finest alloys into fiery molten slag. And just as terrible as the heat to C-3PO and R2-D2 is the sound overwhelming their audio sensors, the sound of a war droid's engines as it drives them back to the ultimate end.
Well, guess what?
What?
That's a cliffhanger.
Oh
no, because we cut to deep space.
Oh, no. What's going to happen to R2 and 3PO?
We don't know yet, because we cut to deep space where two blockade runners sit, and we go back in time. Okay. So we don't know what's going on with R2 and 3PO, because we're going a little bit of back in time here
to see where they end up in this predicament.
Yes. And right now they're with Luke Skywalker in his Bespin fatigues.
Nice.
That's my favorite costume of all Star Wars costumes. Aww. The Bespin fatigues. Now, inside the ship, a rebel major points out a giant warbot with a hole ripped in its body. And these war droids are big and deadly, but as the major points out, they're not in the same class as AT-ATs. That's Marvel's way of tying this into The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
Now, the major is asking Luke if it's possible to get a full schematic to give them an edge the next time these war bots are used.
Kind of like how they had the plans to the Death Star.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, so they could see, like, okay, what are we up against here? How can we defeat this thing? This is actually reminding me of the Clone Wars when, let's see, Ahsoka and Anakin had to go and teach the rebels on the planet how to destroy the tanks by throwing the detonator just so it goes underneath.
Oh yeah.
What is that called? The droidecas, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it goes underneath their shield.
Yeah, they were teaching Saw Gerrera and Saw's sister Steela and all their insurgents.
Right, because they knew how those worked. They had the schematics, so that's what they're trying to do. Now, okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
in fact, this issue brings up a lot of questions for me. So I'd be
please.
asking them as we go along, and anyone who wants to join in. So if you're a fan of the comics, or if you remember, was this one of the first times we've seen ATs like written out, like after The Empire Strikes Back? Or was it on a bunch of toys? I only asked this because the editor, Louis, put in a note right after the word AT-AT with a little star, and it said all-terrain armored transport parentheses walkers. So it was like spelling out. So it felt like this was one of the very first times that AT-AT was out in the world in a piece of Star Wars media written.
Well, the AT-AT toy came out in late 1981.
Okay. And this, so this is before that.
Yes.
Oh, so this would be one of the first times.
Yeah. So we'd have to now. Did you go in the Marvel adaptation?
No, I didn't. What do you mean?
Go look to see if if they spelled out AT-AT in, or even said AT-AT.
Oh, in the Marvel I did not. I did. You mean the Marvel adaptation comic? Okay. I didn't. I'm assuming they probably did write it there, but I just found it interesting that they made a little editor's note: all-terrain armored transport.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah.
All right. Now R2-D2 immediately. All right. Now let's move on to the story where R2-D2 immediately gets to work doing a holographic scan of the Imperial war machine. 3PO comments that this job will certainly get them a commendation, or at least a lubrication bath. Now, I'm not sure 3PO has ever been concerned with a commendation, or a pat in the back for his work. A lubrication bath, I can see.
Yes,
but that kind of took me out of this.
Oh, okay.
This little bit right here.
Right.
All right, now R2 answers with a
Fradita click.
Suddenly, something happens which sends R2 hurtling off his work platform, and he lands with a
clong. And here, there's a fantastic line from 3PO, and he says, "Don't sass me, you contrary little circuit breaker." There's the 3PO.
There's the 3PO. There you go.
There it is.
So in the future, whenever 3PO has got a line, you got to read it, okay?
Oh, I know that. Yeah, this is my job. Oh, but we have some answers here from Rex, who says about the AT-AT line. This was one of the first, yes, unless it was in the movie promo stuff. That's what I'm wondering. Would it have been in any movie promos?
Now, in the Topps cards, it said Snowwalkers.
Oh, okay. But that's totally different.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. All right, well, let's move on to the next page here.
All right, Luke and the Major come running in after hearing the
clong.
Luke points out that the innards of the war droid are fused, and now there's no way of getting those schematics. Now, what's he referring to? When things are fused, they're like fused together, but here there's like a big pink ooze coming out of the droid, and it's smoking. I don't see anything fused.
Maybe that's the fused, is the pink?
Maybe from his vantage point, not from ours.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I don't want to nitpick.
It's an artist rendition of being fused.
Okay.
Yes.
Not being nitpicky, but spoiler alert: there are more nitpicks to come.
Okay.
Now 3PO feels terrible and says he and R2 will do anything to make up for this mess. The Major says that the robot's beyond the ability even of their best technicians. So why weren't the best technicians there to begin with?
Yeah.
Just saying. Okay. With a big war droid, you get your best technicians down there. But he says there's an alternate course, but it could be risky. And 3PO yells,
"Anything, Major, anything."
Now it's all in caps and bolded, so he'll do anything. I don't know why he thinks it's his fault.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think 3PO and R2 would have this emotional growth to want to make up for a mistake like that?
Well, it's not really their fault. There's something blue inside the war droid, which sent R2 rolling.
Right, and 3PO's like all worried. Oh, we were trying to help, and now we messed it up for some reason.
I think that's gonna play into what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Sending them to Droid World.
Yeah, I guess it's like emotional motivation for the story to occur.
Yeah.
I suppose.
All right, now the blockade runner is now on its way to Kligson's moon. Not Klingon moon. I should stop saying that because
yeah, you're
I'll
gonna get all confused.
Yeah. All right, so they're going to Kligson's moon, where they have to find the recluse who wants to keep his existence a secret.
And supposedly this Kligson's moon is where they can fix this droid bot thing.
Don't get ahead of us here.
Oh, okay.
Now the ship blasts towards Droid World.
Woo, look at this. We're looking at it now in the comic.
And this floating mass of metal salvage with one domed window in the middle fires a warning shot at the blockade runner.
Oh my gosh.
Now, inside the space station, we see Kligson, who is a cyborg with a full metal body and a human face. Looks like a very metallic Buzz Lightyear.
Very gray Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, he's got that face sticking out.
Oh, now that you say that, it does kind of look like that. That's funny. It wasn't very colorful, so my mind didn't go there. But when you see that bottom panel here on the slide, you can really he's got that thing that Buzz has, which is a hood and like two ear pods or something that
the magnify hearing.
Yeah.
So when I first saw that, I thought, oh, that's a Buzz Lightyear predecessor if I ever saw one.
Yeah.
All right, now his hostility towards organics has come from the suffering he has endured through the Clone Wars.
Whoa!
Another Clone Wars reference. We should be writing these down all the times the Clone Wars has been referenced in the classic Marvel Star Wars comics.
Also, he says a line that's very reminiscent of Star Wars. He says, "I'm a cyborg now, more machine than man, and happy to cast my lot with the machines. Leave me and my droid world in peace." So sounds like Vader.
Very much so.
Or, well, I guess how Obi-Wan describes Vader.
Yes.
He's more machine now than man.
Yes.
Twisted and evil. Is that from Empire?
That's from Return of the Jedi.
That is from Return. Oh!
2 years after this comic.
Yeah, this precedes that line.
We know what Lawrence Kasdan was reading in 1981.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rex, right? Hillsborough? Saying this is epic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. This is a very epic issue.
Yes.
Now, hold on. What do we see behind Kligson? What is that?
What is it?
It's a Kenner power droid.
Is that because it's squatter than a normal power droid?
Yes. Look at that.
Oh, so this middle panel here clicks in, and then you zoom in. There's a little squat power droid.
And that's taken right from the toy.
Wow.
I saw that and got so excited.
That is so cute.
Yeah, because the gong droids are more elongated.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's a little square, little block. Oh my goodness.
I love this so much.
That's cute.
All right, now 3PO, he baits Kligson by telling him that they have a droid that is so badly damaged that no one else can fix it. But if he's not up to the challenge, and Kligson, he interrupts that he likes a challenge.
That was very smart on 3PO's part.
Yeah, I've never seen 3PO be so manipulative. But Kligson, he's got 2 rules that must be obeyed.
All right, what are these rules?
One rule is that no organic can set foot on Kligson's moon. So Luke and the Major, they're going to be left behind. And the other is that whatever he repairs, he gets to keep.
What the heck?
Who would go for that?
That doesn't make any sense. It's like going to the Apple Genius bar and giving him your phone. Okay, guys, I need you to help repair this. Oh, yeah, but by the way, we get to keep it now.
That's a good deal. Okay.
It makes no sense.
All right. See you later. I guess you won't see me later.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow, that's so bad.
All right. So 3PO says that he and R2 will accompany the war droid and record everything that Kligson does. Ooh, see, 3PO is very smart in this issue. Then they will have a full schematic, which is what they wanted to begin with.
Right. They don't need the droid. They just want the schematic.
Exactly.
Now, I blame Luke for everything that happens next.
What?
Yes, in this issue. Everything that happens in this issue, because Luke says, of course, you and R2 have a knack for getting into trouble on your own. Still, what could happen to 2 droids on a world of droids? ...
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, come on, Luke. You know not to say stuff like that.
And they they don't make the trouble. They just find themselves in trouble.
Yeah.
Which, once again, That's the whole premise of the animated droid series.
Yeah.
All right, now Kligson sends a shuttle to the blockade runner and picks up the droids and the warbot. Now, the warbot is scanned and deemed an Imperial piece of junk and not worth fixing. Kligson orders his assistant, ZX3, which is a pink ex-Imperial droid,
Yeah.
to remove R2 and 3PO's restraining bolt so they can join Droid World. Oh, what is going on? At first,
Yeah, now wait a minute.
Look at that Imperial War droid. It's a pink stormtrooper. That's what it comes down to.
It really is, except it doesn't have like the stormtrooper eyes, but it definitely has the shape
Yeah.
of the helmet
Mhm.
and the funky little side cheek jowl things.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's all completely pink. Wow.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Oh, while you're getting that, the colorist really had fun with this issue. I mean, I don't remember issues with this fun colors here.
You know how every time I
Oh.
say whenever there's something pink that's aimed toward boys,
Yes.
I mentioned the Batman toys.
Uh-huh.
Well, I went out and got an actual Batman
box.
Mego action figure box. Look at that. No Batman in the box. But this is how they sold Batman toys to little boys. And
pink.
Once again, this is why I was never adverse to the color pink, like most little boys. Like pink, I think of Batman.
It's very cute.
Or ZX3, an ex-Imperial war droid.
Yeah.
Come on. Pink is a tough color.
Pink. Here, put your box up. Let's compare.
Okay. See.
Compare the pinks.
Okay.
Other side.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, yeah, it's nearly the same pink. This one's perhaps a little rosier, a little warmer toned pink.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right, now all these rules.
Yeah.
This doesn't bode well for 3PO, as he says that they. Oh, you read this.
Oh, 3PO says, "Oh, I love Master Luke and the others we work with." Sorry, that was terrible. It wasn't prepared.
It was, but you know what? The fact that 3PO says that he loves Master Luke.
Yeah.
Never heard 3PO use the word love before.
Master Luke. No. If anything, R2 I feel like has more love. He's more like the dog, that like very loyal dog that does anything for his master.
Yeah.
Whereas 3PO has a little more prissiness to him. A little more caveats to what he will and will not do.
Well, apparently we know that he loves Master Luke. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
We never heard that before, so it took me a second to go, oh, 3PO does love organics. All right, now Kligson orders ZX3 to bring them to him. Droids who are happy under organics, I wish to examine at first hand. And this is very much like Valance the Hunter, who couldn't understand why Luke had such an affinity for R2 and 3PO.
That's right.
And then he kind of softened up after that. It's like, maybe I don't want to kill organics because I can see they can even love something like droids. So I'm not sure if this was intentional. I doubt it, but there is a connection between Kligson and Valance the Hunter.
Oh, Rex in the chat is bringing up a great point about this droid, a ZX3, right? ZX3 is like a stormtrooper droid troopers, like those black stormtrooper droids.
What like the Death Troopers.
The Death Troopers, yeah.
So, yeah.
Perhaps.
So
is that a link? Is that a connection?
A whole different kind of trooper. Where are these action figures? Where are these cosplayers?
Oh, where's the pink droid?
Oh my goodness. They need to have a whole Marvel convention where you've got to dress up as a Marvel character like Max Cervantes.
Yeah.
Who dressed up like Master Com at our Skywalking Through Neverland variety show at Celebration.
Can you imagine like a Pepto-Bismol pink stormtrooper droid?
See, Max is ahead of the game.
That would be amazing. I would love that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting too excited about this. All right, now we're going to get back to the issue, okay?
Okay, here we go.
Now, on their way to Kligson, 3PO makes small talk with ZX3 and asks how long has the Empire made droids like him? And ZX3 answers that he is an experimental model made by Tag Industries.
Now is it the same tag? Because it's spelled wrong.
Yeah, don't want to be nitpicky here, but they spell tag Taage, where it should be Tagge. I'm just saying. All right, now these models were made by Tag Industries to work in extreme conditions that the stormtroopers couldn't survive.
Makes sense.
Now, the Imperials were not satisfied with the droid experiments, and they were all rejected.
Mm.
Fortunately, Kligson reclaimed ZX3 and gave him a new purpose.
All right, and we already talked about the ZX3 design. It's a fun color. My only problem with it is that here we see a nice close-up of the face, and the eyes are like these slits, and it really makes it hard to see any kind of personality in the droid, which I guess is kind of the point, because it's
Yeah, it's like a
a
stormtrooper.
mindless stormtrooper droid.
They're all
But
faceless.
oh yeah, okay. I guess it makes sense story-wise. I'm not a big fan of
And
the design.
they're like those old knights with little tiny slits in their eyes. And same with some of the First Order troopers who have very, very narrow slits. Like, okay, who would design a helmet like that?
Right.
Those guys are going to be bumping into more things than Imperial stormtroopers. Did you guys not learn anything?
That's true.
All right, now, okay, 3PO says to R2,
for someone who is Imperial made, he seems a nice enough chap.
What? So, once again, another word 3PO would never say in the film.
Chap. Yes, no kidding.
Love and chap.
To which R2 responds,
like 3PO, you need better writers.
It's really funny, little, and it's in lowercase too, with little boop.
Yeah, which is never the case because everything's always in capitals.
Yeah, it's really funny.
All right, now as ZX3 leads them into Kligson's chamber, he excuses himself, and R2 detects something's up and follows the Imperial droid. What's going on? What did R2's sensors detect?
R2's on the hunt.
Well, we're gonna find out right after this commercial break.
Woo! All right, we will be right back because it is time for a Marvel Hostess ad.
Now, this commercial break is brought to us by Hostess Fruit Pies with the Marvel crossover story. Now, this commercial break is brought to us by Hostess Fruit Pies with the Marvel Hostess crossover story, The Thing in Early Delights.
Oh, The Thing, like
the Fantastic Four, remember? Yeah. The Thing.
If you just read that by itself, it's a really weird sentence. The Thing in Early Delights. What? Because, okay, like, this is the thing with Early Delights. Okay.
Now, we did hear, spoiler alert, we did hear from a reliable source that this is a story that they're going to base the whole Fantastic Four MCU film around.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Okay. You didn't hear it here. Now, there's a Star Wars crossover here.
Okay.
Because, speaking of the Thing, the Thing will be played by Ebon Moss-Bachrach from Andor. And he's going to play the Thing in the Fantastic Four film.
Yes. That's fun.
And also, the Mandalorian himself, Pedro Pascal, will play Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic. So you have half a Star Wars cast in the new MCU Fantastic Four film.
Now, the Andor, the actor, you said it was who?
Yeah.
Ebon Moss-Bachrach? Okay, and he played the character that was the turncoat.
Yes.
Basically that
the one that Andor shot in the face. Yeah. He was also in The Bear.
Yep.
But he's gonna play a motion captured Thing character.
Right. Well,
because
obviously.
Well, as he says that a big suit would be to cosplay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
So far,
so
no.
he's just insulted a huge amount of his audience. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's not far. He's not off. He's right because
it is hard to be cosplay.
A big suit like that would look kind of cosplay, but you don't go around saying that. Apparently, he hasn't been in the fandom network to know that you say things like that can get you canceled. So watch out. But yeah, a motion captured Thing is going to be really fun to watch.
Okay, so shall we go through this fun little Hostess comic?
Yes, that will be the basis for the MCU film.
So the story opens as two Martians hold up a deli. Is it Martians or Martin?
Martians.
Okay. So the story opens as two Martians hold up a deli. Their getaway spaceship looms outside.
And the deli worker says, "I've seen everything, but never."
And the customer says, "They're after us."
And the Martian says, "Our appetite for earthly delights will soon be satisfied. Prepare for uplift."
the Martian shoots the deli worker and customer. But just then, the thing smashes through the wall.
And Thing says, "Not so fast, bub. You're not taking anybody anywhere."
And then the thing somehow grabs the blast energy and wrangles the two Martians.
If it's early delights you want for your trip, if it's early delights you want, if it's early delights you want for your trip, take these Hostess fruit pies. Cherry for you, apple for your friend.
The thing throws the Martians their fruit pies. However, their hands are bound, so this is just a nasty joke. They can just watch the fruit pies fly past their faces. Oh, well, later, after the thing has united with the space invaders. Wait, later, after the thing has united the space invaders.
One more time.
Oh,
And then-
I read that next thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Later, after the thing has united the space invaders, the getaway spaceship pulls the Martians up to the ship.
Taste the light, tender crust. Oh no, wrong
Oh,
voice.
Yeah.
Taste the light, tender crust, the Martian says.
The other Martian, and the real fruit filling. This must be what Earthlings call delicious.
Apparently, these Martians are Muppets.
The ship blasts off.
And a deli worker says, "I always thought Hostess fruit pies were out of this world, and now they are."
Oh, hearty, har, har, har. You get a big delight in every bite of Hostess fruit pies.
That was brilliant.
The
That
end.
was brilliant.
That was a great ending.
All right, but now I got to ask you, what do you
Okay.
think Marvel and Hostess were trying to say in this crossover story? There's always hidden meaning in these
Yes.
gems.
That Hostess fruit pies are better than delis, than New York delis. No? What do you think it was trying to say?
I think this is their way of warning deli owners that sooner or later you will be held up by Martians. Only in delis, okay? And if you have property in the same cities where superheroes live, then you better have up-to-date insurance. Since
Yeah.
they keep smashing through walls. Property loss is definitely not a concern for them. When they can just walk to the front door.
Yeah.
The front door is right beside you.
Yeah.
Why do you need to smash through the wall?
Come on, thing.
And if you have a good supply of Hostess fruit snacks ready to bargain with Martians and thugs or kingpins, then you'll be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Superheroes such as the Thing will not always be there to help you. So you got to learn to take care of yourself, people. Okay?
I want to know, has anyone out there who's listening been helped by a superhero? Have you been in a predicament and someone comes in and helps you out?
Have you lost property because of superhero? Has your insurance gone up because of superhero property destruction?
Wow.
Just saying. I think that's what Marvel and Hostess were trying to say.
But I think really what they're trying to say is you better stock up on Hostess fruit pie snacks because it'll get you out of a lot of jams, superhero or not.
Now, the sequel to this story has got to be the deli owner going to the insurance broker and saying, "Here's some Hostess fruit pies."
No.
And the insurance broker saying, "Yeah, but your premium will still go up."
That's funny.
All right. Don Glover says here in the Sky Chat, does the Thing just carry a box of Hostess products with him at all times?
Apparently all the superheroes do.
Except for Spider-Man, who grabs a Twinkie from a place I don't want to know.
Having just watched Deadpool 2.
I think I do know.
The prison locker.
Wow. I can't believe you went there. This is a G-rated show.
Hey, I didn't say anything bad.
Okay.
Just gotta read between the cracks.
Now, back to the show. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay.
You're really proud of that one, aren't you?
That is such funny.
All right. If you haven't watched Deadpool 2, go watch it, and then that'll make sense.
Okay.
All right. Back to the story.
Yes.
C-3PO hasn't noticed that R2 has wandered off. When Cligson said he wanted to see them both, 3PO responds that
R2's main program. I'm sorry, I was still thinking of that.
apparently.
Okay, here we go. R2's main programming function is to embarrass me.
Another word 3PO would never say? Now, when they cut to R2, you see him spying on ZX3's secret insurrection against Cligson.
Oh, yes. So I feel that R2 and 3PO are both very in character here because R2 is seemingly wandering off like he tends to do, but it's always for the good of his group. He's always thinking ahead. He's
Mhm.
always saving the day. R2 always saves the day. And 3PO is just forever embarrassed by R2. So
Yeah.
it really dovetails into it leans into their character journeys.
Except for the dialogue.
Mhm.
All right, now Droid World has in its possession a similar Imperial warbot, but without a functioning weapons head. But the one R2 and 3PO brought has one intact.
What are the odds?
Seeing this sends a deep vibration through R2D2 circuitry. Oh, he's like, oh, wait a minute, there's another warbot there. Oh, this cannot be good. Now look at the hover bed which the war droid is lying on. It's operated by a human bust.
Where is this? Right here?
Yeah, right there, right the bottom panel. That's very eerie. Why does this hover bed need a human bust to pilot it?
Oh, weird. Well, I think that's just depicting that a droid is piloting it, right?
And just showing direction, really.
Huh.
But still,
I
that's
see.
looks like someone's torso has just been plopped there.
It kind of, it reminds me of a cruise ship that has.
Do they have busts?
Yeah, they do. They have usually
like-
on the bow of the ship they'll have like a mermaid or something.
Yeah.
Like on Disney ships they'll have.
Yeah, but this
characters.
This is no mermaid.
No.
It just sent a little eerie shiver down my spine.
Okay.
Now, as ZX3 is going through his plan of rebellion against Kligson, a hoverball droid lets him know that they have an intruder. Suddenly, a cannon protrudes from a golden droid, and he fires at R2.
Fracow!
ZX3 knows that R2 will inform Kligson, so instead of delaying his takeover of Droid World, the time is now. And he orders his droid forces into motion.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so here I have a question. Did we know that this droid is like Imperial at this point?
Yes, because the Imperials had made all these experimental droids and then rejected them.
Okay, because at this point in the story, when I was reading it, I felt that it was just like droids, and all the droids, even though they were kind of lorded over by a cyborg man, that the droids just wanted to take over the facility over the cyborg man. And I was wondering why R2 was immediately against the droids.
Well, because he knows that this is an Imperial droid and it can't lead to somewhere good if it's being led by an Imperial. And just like we had talked about earlier, judging by the troopers, the ZX3's design, that is definitely Imperial.
Okay. All right. So at this point, I was a little confused in this comic.
So yeah. So one, he's a droid that wants to take over, and two, he's an Imperial. So that goes hand in hand.
Okay. Okay. Well, we find out later that it's very explicit that he's Imperial.
Well, we found out earlier.
Okay. I guess I missed that.
Now, R2 races into Kligson's chamber and tells him everything. And just then, ZX3 enters and blasts Kligson to bits.
Oh my gosh, look at this slide. Kligson is no more. Oh, and this was funny. In this bottom panel here, Kligson says, that laser cannon harness is unauthorized, ZX3. Remove it before ... ZX3 ... before someone gets hurt, as he blasts Kligson to bits.
Oh, that's good dialogue.
That's some really good, fun dialogue and a little couplet of panels too. And I want to give props to the storytelling department because it was a really nice beat right there. It was like, oh, that's so fun. And it's a button on the end of that dialogue that the droid shoots Kligson. And it's very surprising too. All of a sudden, this main character is just gone.
Yeah. All right. Now, Rex in the Sky Chat has got another way of letting you know that the ZX3 is Imperial. Oh, not that one. Because he's got evil eyes.
Oh, yes, indeed.
All right, now ZX3 says the Imperial foe has fallen. Without his mechanical body, which mocked our own, Kligson is no more. Now, as he stands there with his hip swayed, he declares that all will vanish who does not serve.
Vanquish.
He declares that all will vanquish who does not serve the Imperial cause.
This is where it's explicit for me.
Okay. As the Empire rules the galaxy, Droid World is ours to command. And all of his minions stand right behind him, especially the Kenner power droid, complete with a cannon.
Oh
Where
my
is this
goodness.
action figure? Kenner, you dropped the ball here. You don't need to design a whole new action figure. You just need an accessory to add on to the existing power droid.
That's so
And
cute.
Is cannon.
All right, Rex wants you to know that at this point, ZX3 is a disco droid.
Look at him.
Yeah, he's
swaying those hips.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
Mm-hmm. Now, the new warbot, which is fully operational, comes rolling down the hall towards R2 and 3PO, and R2 sprays his fire extinguishing spray, which throws off the mechanized monsters targeting sensors.
And you can remember that,
which throws off the mechanized monsters targeting sensors.
Which I remember from Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, it did that to the stormtroopers.
Yeah, right, when they were trying to escape from Bespin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw off those stormtroopers. so little will cloud the stormtroopers' vision. So, a little bit of smoke will do. However, they are not in the clear as ZX3 in his battle tank comes charging for the droids.
Wow.
And this is where the issue begins.
Yes.
And so when we first saw that first panel with the droid in the tank, that was ZX3, but we didn't want to spoil it then. Mm-mm. Now the droids are backed into the fiery melting core, and R2 topples in, and 3PO shouts,
"R2, don't give in to the brute by committing suicide."
We need a counter at this point. Things that 3PO would never say.
Yeah, that's bad.
This is for kids. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Now 3PO goes after him and also falls into the fiery melting core. So I guess this is the end of R2 and 3PO, huh?
I know, and as we saw, yeah. But wait.
What is it? Tell us.
Instead of falling down, they fall up as those magnetic grapples that we saw in that very first panel pull them upward.
See? Foreshadowing.
Away from the fire.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay.
Oof.
Now, unable to stop, ZX3 in his war tank rolls right into the melting core.
He didn't really think this one through.
Not at all. 3PO is bewildered as to who activated the magnetic grapples, and they look up to see
Klixin.
What? Wait a minute. What? Wasn't he just destroyed?
He was just destroyed, but apparently the Klixin who was destroyed was a duplicate.
Oh, or a clone?
Oh. Yeah, he switched out to buy time to rally his own forces.
Wow, we missed that panel.
Yeah, to not see that one coming. Way to write the writers way to write themselves out of this one.
Yep. But 3PO, he's not surprised at the depths of Imperial corruption from ZX3.
Mm-hmm.
Klixin always had his suspicion about ZX3, but just needed proof. And 3PO asks if he ever intended to fix the warbot they brought, or did he just lure them there to bait out ZX3? And Klixin said he intended to combine their busted up warbot with the one they had that needed fixing, but never says, and I was going to give it right back to you.
No.
He's always had his intention of whatever I fix, I get to keep.
Yeah, okay, so, all right, so I have a question about this. So, there's a lot I didn't get about this comic. I don't know why, but I didn't realize that it was a Klixin duplicate, for one.
Okay, the clone.
The clone.
The Klixin clone.
I thought he just, okay, who's the Star Wars character with 4 arms who fights Obi-Wan? Who fights Obi-Wan? The bad guy.
Oh, General Grievous.
General Grievous. How General Grievous goes to his lair and then he has all the different parts for himself that he just kind of rebuilds himself.
Yeah, but his organics stay the same because he can't. That's not a clone. It's just he can attach new arms and legs because those are not organic.
So that's not what Klixin did.
No, he swapped himself out.
Oh, okay.
And the one that was blasted was the clone.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. All right, so let's move on to this amazing splash page here. All right, so the warbot is now up and running, And Clixon turns it on the traitorous droids, the Imperial droids. So now there's just this crazy Armageddon of metallic proportions. Robot against robot.
And this is still better than Marvel's Dark Droid crossover comics.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, this is an amazing splash page.
Now, is this where is the Power Droid still in the mix? Is that it right there?
I don't see him in there.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, that's not him in the foreground.
That's not him?
Oh, well, you know what? That could be him.
Yeah, we see half a droid that kind of looks like the Power Droid, but it's unclear what he's doing.
Yeah. It's like
okay.
I thought it was just a big hunk of metal. But you know, it could be the Kenner Power Droid.
Okay.
You could be right about that.
All right, Skywalkers, what do you think? You let us know.
Now, later on, the war has ended and Clixon has won.
Way to zoom past a whole big chunk of story there.
Mm-hmm. He says that he's been through a war and was able to. He says that he's been through a war and was able to provide more tactical programming than ZX3, which is how he won this vicious mechanical war here. Now, question: do you think Clixon was a separatist or part of the Republic in the Clone Wars?
Well, okay, so I guess a separatist, because doesn't the separatists use droids?
Yeah, the battle droids.
Yeah, so I would figure he's like part of the droid separatist army.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. But at this point, they hadn't really created that.
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm just asking, looking at it through a 2024 lens.
Correct.
But Clixon does something that the battle droid seen in the Clone Wars cannot. Clixon sheds a tear.
And why does he do this?
When he picks up ZX3's head, he sheds a tear and says, "Such a terrible waste."
Now, does he also put his forehead to the forehead of
ZX3?
ZX3?
No, because ZX3 was not his father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little Jango Boba Fett thing happening there.
Totally. Okay, now in this panel, it's really funny. What the heck is 3PO doing behind Clixon here? Clixon is shedding a tear, and 3PO is like, "Hey man, what's up?" Like he's got his arm up.
What this was taken from an episode 4 publicity still.
Oh,
where it's he and Luke Skywalker, and 3PO is pointing up. So if you notice, in most of the pictures I take, I'm pointing up.
Yeah.
And that's taken from this publicity still with 3PO pointing into a different direction. They even replicated that on Attack of the Clones with 3PO and George Lucas.
Oh yeah.
3PO does that 3PO point, and it's nostalgic to me because this was the very first Star Wars T-shirt I ever had.
Oh.
It was a light blue shirt with 3PO pointing next to Luke Skywalker.
That is so cute.
Yes. And that was the shirt that someone ran up to me in Maine when I was 8 years old and said, "Have you seen Star Wars?" "No." "Well, can I have your shirt?"
How old was this person?
It was a girl. I think she was like a teenager.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I have a vivid memory of, boy, this Star Wars thing must be a real cultural phenomenon, which is what I was thinking at 8 years old. If this girl wants me to give her my shirt off my back.
Yeah. No kidding.
I said, "No, I'm going to hang on to this." And I still have that shirt, and I better find it somewhere.
Yes. Okay, now Rex in the Sky Chat is asking a very, very important question. Or he's making a very important connection here that who is this? Cody? He sheds a tear.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad, Rex, I'm glad you caught on to this.
Yeah.
Because here we see Clixon shedding a tear.
That's right.
And this mirrors the last issue when Lando shed a tear when his friend Cody Sunchild lost his life at the conclusion.
Mm-hmm. So good call.
Wow, Rex, good memory.
Look at that. We're showing it on screen, Lando's tears.
Yeah, when I saw this panel of Clixon tearing up, I thought, wait a minute, didn't Lando also tear up in the last issue? I went back and there it was. And so here we are showing the Skywalkers.
That's amazing.
Yes, good catch.
Awesome.
Now, later on in the Blockade Runner, R2 and 3PO have returned to Luke, who is impressed with a Warbot schematic that R2 has recorded.
That's right.
And 3PO is glad that Luke is happy. However, he feels bad for Clixon.
The events on Droid World left him more determined than ever not to be drawn into further human conflict. Okay.
Read it like 3PO.
Oh, okay. The events on Droid World left him more determined than ever not to be drawn into further human conflict.
That's the way I feel whenever I go out. Yeah, I just want to be in
Our cocoon.
Skywalker world.
Yeah.
Don't want to go outside. Clixon, I hear you. I
Love
hear
it.
you, Clixon.
Oh my gosh.
3PO believes that ZX3s must have been. Now, 3PO believes that ZX3 must have reported Droid World back to the Empire, so Clixon will never have the solitude he wants for himself and his droids.
Yeah.
I think 3PO is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And they all look outside to see engines fire up on Droid World as it prepares to blast away from the moon below and to a place the Empire will never find.
The end.
Next issue, Princess Leia plays a game of diplomatic daring duo. Next issue, Princess Leia plays a game of diplomatic daring do against Darth Vader in the Third Law.
And the birth of me. Yay! It's
Look
a
at-
Princess Leia themed episode
Look how that ties
for
in.
my birthday month. Oh,
This could not be more perfect.
yes.
So, how does it feel not being born when this issue was released? This is the last time.
I know.
So, does it feel very very surreal for you?
Yes,
We've
it
been
does.
building up this
I
since
know.
2015.
I'm very excited about this next issue. It's very exciting.
Oh, you don't have to wait long because we're gonna do it in just a couple of weeks now.
Mm-hmm. There's a comment here.
All right, hold on.
There's a comment here. Rex says, so Clixon owned the moon and Droid World?
That's a good question because they kept referring to the moon below as Clixon's moon.
Oh. I figured he just owned Droid World.
Yeah.
But he's been there so long, I guess, that the moon became synonymous with Clixon. That's what I would assume. But now Droid World can move on its own, so it's like, oh, look at this surprise! We're gonna leave.
Or it was just the moon was called Clixon, and and Clixon said, "Yeah, I need a new name to separate myself out of society. So I'll call myself Clixon. That way, everyone will think it's my moon."
There you go.
That's a good move, Clixon.
Yeah,
that's a good move. All right, so Sarah, gotta ask you, what was your favorite panel from this issue?
Well, first of all, we should share our afterthoughts of this issue. So,
all right, so Sarah, what are your afterthoughts after reading Droid World?
So I really loved how it was set up. You know, it's like a lot of movies nowadays where you enter into an action scene, so you're excited right off the bat, and then later on they tell you like how they got to that scene. You know, so that's exactly what happened here, where you have this 3PO and R2 in sudden peril of doom, and then you roll it back to how they got in that predicament. And I thought it was a very exciting way to begin the story and the fun fire of that melting core and things like that. And then it just only follows one storyline, which I also liked because these comics can get really confusing following multiple characters and also recapping previous issues within an issue, like taking a full page and a half or 2 pages to like recap. So this issue didn't have any of that burden at all. It just followed R2, 3PO, and Luke, and Luke didn't even do anything. So really, it just followed R2 and 3PO. And
Luke set them on their course.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, no recapping to be had because this was the beginning of, I guess, a story arc, maybe, or even
this is a standalone.
Yeah, this does feel like a standalone, and the art was really fun in this issue. I do have one little nitpick in that Luke did not really look like Luke, except for one panel that was clearly a play on a promo shot.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was like, okay, this is not Luke. This is just a dude. And my favorite part was the coloring used for things. The pink droid. You have all the other droids in these fun little colors, and that fun orange red like flooring and things like that. The artist again, they must have opened a new box of pens and been like, whoa, look at all these. Let's see what we can do.
Who wants the red? Who wants the magenta? Who wants the pink?
Yes, so exciting. I could just see them couldn't you just see them like opening up? Oh, that'd be fun. So what about you, Richard?
Loving the Droid animated series. I love this issue. It's a great standalone issue that spotlights R2 and 3PO, and we haven't had one of those in forever because R2 and 3PO are always tagging along with Luke. So to have a R2 and 3PO centric issue, I thought they're due their standalone. And the lesson to take away from this is never trust an ex-Imperial droid unless it's K2SO.
Nice.
All right, so let's go into our favorite panels.
Okay, so Richard, what is your favorite panel of this issue?
I'm going to go with the panel where ZX3 has just blasted Klixon and stands with his hip swayed out as he declares himself the ruler of Droid World. And you gotta love the Kenner power droid with a cannon. This panel has it all.
Is that it's like sticking right out of his front?
Yes.
So that's the cannon.
He's a battery and a warbot.
That's so funny.
Look at that. So if anyone ever cosplays as ZX3, they gotta stand like that for pictures.
Oh, totally. Hands up in the air,
hip swayed.
Like, yeah. Awesome.
All right, what is your favorite panel of this issue?
So I'm gonna roll it back to page 3 again. That whole opening where we don't know what's happening, but it's super exciting, and that is the splash page.
Ooh.
Where 3PO is engulfed in flames at the bottom. It's a canted angle, and you see those big magnets descending from the top, and it's a black background, so that fire and 3PO really stand out. Very, very, a lot of motion in this one panel. It's really exciting.
Yeah, very hell-centric.
Yeah. All right, so Richard, what is your favorite line of dialogue or narration?
Once again, we're going to center on ZX3, and he says, the important foe has fallen. Without his mechanical body, which mocked our own, Klixon is no more. The mechanical body, which mocked our own. I don't think that was his intention. I think he just needed to survive, so he needed this mechanical body.
Yeah, no kidding. But to them, to the droids, it was mocking.
Yes, very much so.
Wow.
All right, how about you?
So I'm going to head to page 5 and the bottom, and there's a fantastic line from 3PO. He says, "Don't sass me, you contrary little circuit breaker." Oh my God, it's so amazing.
Another word 3PO would never say.
Okay, if we ever have Anthony Daniels on the show, we need to give him that line to read. Because I think he'd have a lot. Don't sass me. Just hearing 3PO say, "Don't sass me." Oh my God, it's so great.
That would be hilarious.
I love it.
All right, what is your most non-Star Wars moment in this issue?
Okay, here I'm going to go to page 19, where again, it was so weird that I didn't remember that I had read it, and that's Klixon randomly having an android duplicate. Like, so it's not a line, it's just the fact that that exists. It's just really silly.
Okay, but then he comes back as a clone.
He has an android duplicate.
All right. So you know this is
to me it just didn't work story-wise.
Personal to you. So to you it was a non-Star Wars moment. Okay,
yes,
I got it.
Yeah, it was a non-story moment. It just didn't make sense.
No, it didn't make sense at all.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I called it out, because otherwise it was a pretty fun story. Okay.
All right.
What about you?
My favorite non-Star Wars moment is when 3PO says to R2, "Don't give in to the brute by committing suicide."
Yikes.
That is a very, very non-Star Wars moment.
Yeah.
That is Marvel.
That's no good.
This is for kids, okay?
Yeah.
Where's Jim Shooter when you need him? Why wasn't this edited out?
Exactly.
All right, with that, let's move on to Star Words before we wrap up this episode.
Sounds fun. All right, what do you want to read, the article or the response?
I'll read this letter from R.A. Portlow.
Okay.
Who writes, "Dear Marvel, your Empire Strikes Back adaptation was wonderful. One thing really bugs me. I'm sick and tired of Luke Skywalker being called kid or the youth. The fellow is 23 years old, and he destroyed a battle station, not to mention faced Darth Vader, and lived. I think he ought to be called a man by now. He's been disillusioned. injured with the loss of his hand, and insulted by Yoda. I must have missed that part in Empire. He's had the woman he loves stolen away by his best friend. He's been threatened to be replaced by the mysterious another who Yoda mentioned. It don't wash, fellas. And once again, this comes from R.A. Portlow, 3901 Kentby Street, Har, Pennsylvania, 17109.
Did you look up this address?
Yes, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's amazing how every single time we read a letter in Star Wars, I look up to see if this person can be found on Facebook
Yeah.
or anywhere else, and I can never find any of these people because it'd be a riot to reach out to these people.
It would be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is funny because at this point, just Empire had come out, so Leia and Luke weren't necessarily
brother and
sister. He's had the woman he loves stolen away by his best friend. Oh, okay.
This woman he loved like a sister.
Yes. All right. Now, before we get into Marvel's response, what is your response to this letter, Richard?
I can see where someone like Han Solo, he's very condescending.
Yes.
He would call Luke kid. Right. He's not on the same level as him.
Well, I think R.A. Portlow is specifically saying like the narration in the in the comics.
Well, I think that they're saying the narration is reflecting what Han Solo says to Luke, calls him kid or the youth, because sometimes they don't always want to say, and Luke did this, and Luke did that. They want to say, and the kid did this, and then Luke did that.
They got to mix it.
They got to mix it up, yes.
And then, so my response would be like, I mean, at my age now, I call anyone in their 20s a kid.
Anyone in their 30s or 40s, I call a kid.
Okay. Do you call me a kid?
I always call you a kid.
Okay. All right. Well, let's respond. Let's hear Marvel's response. Hey, R.A., take it easy. Well, while we'd be the last to deny that Luke's been handed. While we would be the last to deny that Luke's been handed some tragically tough breaks by the Force, we'd have to say that he is most definitely regarded as an adult by virtually everyone he comes in contact with. His promotion to commander is just one indication of that. What may obscure things is that so many of the most important people in Luke's life are older and more experienced than he is. Ben, Yoda, Vader, and Solo were all engaged in their various lives, while Luke was just a youth working on his uncle's moisture farm. Perhaps they are entitled to look on him as something of a youth. To everyone else in the Star Wars universe, he is a near legendary figure who commands nothing but respect. We've got to admit, with a baby face like his, he's not likely to be referred to as the old man or hermit living on an island, or as someone who can come close to murdering his nephew.
Wow, they were really forward thinking.
Yeah.
Well, that part is an editorial remark from me.
Oh, okay. Like, wait, what?
Yeah,
so he just wrote he's not likely to be referred to as the old man.
Yes.
You're funny. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I was saying, that Han Solo looks at him as a kid because he is a kid to him. He hasn't gone through, he's a moisture farmer. He hasn't gone through the Imperial Academy or been chased by Jabba the Hutt.
Right.
He doesn't have any of the adventures that he's had.
And that's what I was kind of saying too. Like, as someone older, I call anyone in their 20s a kid. Just one of those things you do. As you get older, those younger than you become kids.
Last week I heard you call someone who was 41 a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that wraps up episode 453 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank all the Skywalkers who just joined us on Facebook and YouTube and commented in the Sky Chat. And once again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Also, if you want fun tidbits of Star Wars history every day, you can pick up our books, Today in Star Wars History, Parts 1 and 2. And you can also document your Star Wars fandom with Skywalking Through My Fandom, the interactive notebook. All books which we have authored and illustrated, and they are available now from skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book.
Thousands of Star Wars daily fun facts. Now, do you want to support Skywalking Through Neverland? well, consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. The Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom discussions and later this week,
Thursday at
Thursday,
6:30 p.m. Pacific, we will have our Zoom discussion. It's going to be on StreamYard, but it's just going to be a recording. It's not going to be live. So it's like StreamYard for Zoom, Zoom for StreamYard. And you can join in with us and talk about the Bad Batch episodes 1 through 4 on that Thursday stream,
which is leap year.
Yes, February
29th.
Yeah, and if you are interested in that, you can get the link to that. Just head to Facebook where I have an event posted in Skywalking Through Neverland, so that you can see that event and then click on the link to join. We would love to have your opinions, and this is where we basically listen to you guys. What are your opinions on the Bad Batch?
Now, we want to thank our sponsor once again, Small World Vacations, for their support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park? We can fill out a get a quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge, so check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, if you want to see another live show, make sure to tune in to
Things We Want to Share
tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on our YouTube channel.
That is February the 27th.
Perfect.
That really applies to people who are watching right now.
Yes. Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network,
Skynet,
where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
the Max Effects Podcast,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and Today in Star Wars History.
Pierre, this will also be on Twitch. It's just easier to say our YouTube channel. All right, you can find us on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod nearly everywhere. And on Facebook and on YouTube, you can just search Skywalking Through Neverland and join or request whatever pops up, and you will be a part of our fans and Skywalkers.
Now, you can email us at share@skywalkingthrough-neverland.com if you have something longer to say. And once again, a lot of Skywalkers have been sending us emails because we've been doing shows that require a lengthier response, like the whole public domain thing, like Universal versus Disney. So yeah, whatever you want to say, email, put it through Facebook, whatever you'd like. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember,
clong,
flip,
and Fatum.
There you go. And
Neverland on Alderaan.
Nice. All right, there you go. Yeah, thanks, Pierre. I always forget that name, Twitch. We don't really check it anymore, but you're welcome to watch us on Twitch. It's just easier on YouTube. Yay.
All right, and then Rex, if you're still here, what did you mean by that Scott of Washington was on point?
I don't know. Must have been referring to Star Wars. Can I
Yes.
pause this or stop it?
Pause it.
Are you sure? Because if we have to do any recording, we need to do it now.
Yes. So here, talk to everyone for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, let us know, Rex, if you're still here. I guess we're going to do some ADR recording so you can see behind the scenes if you stick around. If you don't stick around, we get it. We just have to record ourselves. Is it going to be the same background?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to see about this whole addict thing. I don't want to just leave it there.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So we are going to look something up. So grab a snack. I want a snack. Can we have a snack?
I'd love a snack.
Okay. Okay. So if you're still here, let us know. What do you guys usually have for snacks? Afternoon snacks. What's your go-to? We're trying to be good. So we have like a banana and almond butter. That's really yummy, actually. Banana or like an orange, extra vitamin C. That's always good. If I could have any snack I wanted, though, I'd probably have like chips or chocolate. but we don't have any of that in the house.
Oh, you said chips. Now I want chips.
I know. See, right? Oh, you're trying to get back? Oops. What's it doing?
I don't know.
I wish we could pause this, but I guess we can't. Sorry, we're trying to look something up. We're trying to see, actually, if any of you have the issue. Which issue are you looking at? One of the Star Wars ones? Oh, yeah, I'm all saved. Okay. Star Wars number 40. Empire Strikes Back. He's reading about AT-ATs to see whether or not that was the first time we heard about AT-ATs, or were they just called walkers? Oh, wow. Something behemoths.
Okay.
We're just going to record some after recordings. You guys don't have to stick around if you don't want. Oh.
Okay.
Are you ready?
ADR, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to need you to hit the...
Okay, here. Well, according to the Marvel adaptation of The Empire Strikes Back issue 40, that's where we see the Imperial Walkers.
Right.
They're just called Imperial Walkers.
Oh.
So in the Marvel comics, they were never referred to as AT-ATs or all-terrain armored transports.
Until this issue.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Good catch. Good catch.
Nice.
As for where it first appeared in pop culture or anywhere in the Star Wars universe, I'm gonna say maybe the toy.
Right, but you said the toy came after?
Yeah, the toy came after
this issue.
Toy came out in like September of 1981, I want to say, but this came out in February. So yeah, you're right. Okay, so this issue was the Droid World was the first time it was ever called all-terrain armored transports. So if anyone has any information that would counter that, please let us know.
Yeah, trading cards, whatever.
Yeah, well, trading cards, snow walkers.
Okay. You would know.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, so good. Now we're done?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. No one ever told us what snacks you were eating, so I guess we'll have to fend for ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, bye, everybody. Thanks for sticking
watching.
around.